Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Ghosts and Spirits video. Another entry here based on your suggestions. I'm probably going to do one more, maybe two after this. I guess it depends on how many other suggestions I'm going to look at. Otherwise, thank you as always for your continued suggestions. This one I picked because it's actually going to tie in to a future trip that I'm going to have later on this year. As I had mentioned in one of my other videos, one of my New Year's resolutions this year, I think the only one actually, is the fact that I'm going to be visiting a lot of new places in Texas, and it's where I've lived in Texas most of my life, but I just haven't been able to see a lot of places, and so going near this location, it's going to be Galveston, Texas, sometime later this year. I'm going to check out the sea. Haven't been to that sea in a long time, or near any kind of large body of water, so it'll be great. One thing I'm not gonna do though is look for this particular entity, whatever this is, as I'm roaming the streets of Galveston, Texas. It has to do with an entity that apparently is still there to this day, and based on the information that I read, it's not very good, like a good idea, when it comes to trying to find this thing or trying to learn more very intimate information about this particular entity. The stuff I'm about to give now, it seems like it's okay, but if you try to go any further, then that's where you could run into a little bit of trouble. And it has to do with the ghost or spirit known as the Hag of Galveston. Not really much information to mention here. It's a little vague of some sort. In fact, some of the information I'm going to skip is the stuff that's more, I guess, fantastical. When it starts reading, like, let's say, a scary story to tell in the dark type deal, I just kind of tune out. But the rest of the stuff that I'm going to cover here, this is the stuff that's fascinating, that I believe you would be interested in hearing. So what is the Haunted Hag of Galveston, Texas? Other times it's called the Haunted Hag of the Strand. The reason why it's called the Strand is because it has to do with a particular location there in Galveston called the Strand, which you're looking at here. This is a location that has been there for a long time. It's a popular tourist attraction of sorts. Lots of shops, lots of places to see, and of course it's nearby the actual sea, the beach itself, so it definitely has a lot of vantage points to spend time at. Well, the haunted hag apparently roams those streets even to this day. Not too long in terms of how long, I guess, this thing has been around, whatever it is, probably a couple hundred years, but this particular entity, the way it works is it only comes out at night there in the Strand, and it either finds you, like, let's say if by accident you're just walking around late at night there in the Strand and you come across it and it's looking for you, or if you're purposely looking for it, then that's when it's even worse, because then it's up to chance with regards to yourself having a very bad encounter with it. So what is it? Well, according to folklore, I guess, is probably the best way to describe it. The haunted hag of the Strand was a beautiful woman who lived back then. I don't know if it was a couple hundred years back, but beautiful woman by the name of Magdalena. And she was someone that fell in love with some pirate king by the name of John Lafitte. I believe that's how his last name is said. She was in love with him, but he apparently was not in love with her. So, just like something straight out of, let's say, a haunted tale, she decided she wanted to handle this and make sure that she loved them. And what better way to do so, being sarcastic of course, than her actually calling on the devil himself to sell her soul to him. The idea was she would sell her soul to the devil, and in return he would grant her Lafitte's love. Like Lafitte, that pirate king, would fall in love with her. So she gave, I guess, her soul to the devil, and then he said, absolutely, let me give you my half of the deal. And when he brought forward Lafitte, apparently Lafitte did not fall in love with her because he now had a voodoo charm. This is a classic deal with the devil, because this guy, the pirate king, while this was happening with Magdalena, the devil's deal with her, then he in turn, the devil was also making another deal with the pirate king. I guess this guy was scared with regards to people creating some kind of voodoo stuff towards him. Maybe his career, his trade as a pirate king had a lot of danger. So he decided, I'm going to do something about this too. And I don't know if he sold his soul necessarily to the devil, but the devil gave him a very powerful voodoo charm to protect him against any kind of magical spells and other type of voodoos. Well, lo and behold, that particular charm also protected him from Magdalena's spell when it came to her forcing him to fall in love with her. So again, classic deal with the devil, where ultimately the devil is the only one that benefits, while at the same time, basically creating a tragedy out of the people that he made the deal with. So when the Lady Magdalena, when it became her turn to, I guess, fulfill her bargain when it came to her soul, there she was. She had no choice, so her soul belonged to the devil, and now that's why she haunts that location there in the Strand. People that have come across her, it's a little rarer nowadays, but people that have come across her say she looks like your average worst vision of a hag, like long strangly hair, the disgusting skin, the rotting teeth, the eyes that I don't know if they're otherworldly or not, but the usual stuff that you would imagine, let's say, a hag. Maybe even when it comes to that notion of sleep paralysis and the dreams that people had of hags, whatever that idea is that you have in your head, that's what you see here. But there she is. She haunts the locations of the Strand, and people that have seen her either peering around corners, kind of like looking at them directly, or they see a much more closer experience where she comes out of the blue, starts screaming obscenities at them, and then tries to catch them. And the idea is, if you ever experience her there in the Strand, you're supposed to run as quickly as you can, because this entity, whatever it is, will try to pretty much outright kill you. Like, it'll either slit the throat of the women, suck the life out of men, ravage them with her bare teeth, long nails, make things essentially a very, very bad experience. Not too much detail though is given as to like close encounters. I was trying to see if anyone had actually experienced something with regards to this hag, but no, nobody has. It's probably fallen into that lore where it's a tale that's been told now for so many generations. Even though nobody's really had any experience with it, it still stands the test of time today without, I guess, visual confirmation. There's the idea, of course, that this could be nothing more than, let's say, encounters with at least the encounters that are more docile with your average homeless person, like your average homeless woman, where people see like an old hag, like an old looking homeless woman from afar, and then knowing the urban legend, or in this case the idea of this hag roaming the streets from who knows how many years back, they tie one and one together and realize, oh, this could be her, but of course it's not. It's just probably just your average homeless woman. Because apparently there are a lot of homeless people there in Galveston. I did not know that. But the idea is that that could be just a reality with regards to anyone coming across her. There's also a whole bunch of other stuff that's tied to this entity with regards to her having apparently the devil's child, and the devil's child being lost in some kind of storm, some kind of major storm that happened in 1900, and which in turn, I guess, set her free. Well, not free in the sense like she was free from the devil, but her like being free from dead, and now that's why she roams the streets, because she's also trying to find her child. And then when she does find it, she'll kill it and regain her youth, or regain the ability to become truly free of the devil and be back to a normal woman. It's crazy stuff. Like I mentioned earlier, when it starts getting into that world, I just tune out. So, if you wanted to read that information, it is out there in the internet. But otherwise, I'm not really going to cover it too much here. But the closest thing that I saw, as far as anyone having any kind of experience, there was this paranormal investigator, someone by the name of Leslie Danielle Ferryman. She was posting in one of her websites that she was trying to find much more information with regards to this old hag, but she was being blocked, I guess, because apparently there in Galveston, if you start asking too many questions about this legend, then when you do so, you risk people outright blocking it because they don't want you to know more information about this thing to protect yourself. Well, she said that one night she was there 3 a.m. roaming in the Strand, and that's when she saw what she's quoted figure as a shadowy figure, the quote unquote, roaming the Strand, dressed completely in black with long gray blonde hair. And then she was thinking that this must be the old hag, but it seemed like that she saw this in a far away place because whenever she was trying to catch up with this thing, whatever it was, it disappeared into one of the darkest, I guess, alleys there, and she did not see it anymore. But she still wondered like whether she was lucky, like whether she was lucky she didn't come across it, or most likely that old hag didn't come across her. So there is that very close encounter, or the closest one at least that I could find with regards to this ghost and spirit. So what do you guys think this with regards to this entity, whatever this is? If anyone has any more information about the hag of the Strand or hag of Galveston, please let me know. I'm going to be visiting again that location sometime later this year, but you will not catch me roaming those streets of Strand late at night. I hardly ever go anywhere late at night. Just out of I guess normality, and it's just not my thing. So I'm definitely not going to be there. But if anyone has and has tried to look specifically for this entity, then that would be good to hear. Post your comments below. So, all right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care.